Hello and welcome to Sullivan's Farm again. I have a big smile on my face, kinda, in this video, because it stopped raining at long last. We've had a couple of dry days. It's dry again today, and the ground has gone from soup to sticky muck, which I'm seeing as progress. In this video, I'm going to talk very briefly about why I'm not converting to organics, even though I did the organics course over the past couple of weeks. But before I give you my reasons, this isn't any kind of a rant against organics or anything of the sort. I would encourage any farmer to do the course that I did a couple of weeks ago. It's run by Teagasc. I think it's called Introduction to Organic Principles. And I think NOTS, the National Organic Training Service, do something similar as well. So if you take nothing else from this video, I'd encourage anybody to do that course and to step into the boots, the wellies of an organic farmer, to make up your own mind, so that you're not listening to some fella talking on YouTube about why organics doesn't suit him, or you're not reading about some poster boy case in the media about how some fella converted and why everybody else should convert. Do the course, make up your own mind, look around you, see what it'd mean in terms of reducing livestock numbers or the changes to workload or anything like that, and make up your own mind. But I suppose before I say another word, to be more in my line, to give the cattle a bail here. So look, we'll do that, and then we'll have a chat about the organics in a minute. One of the things putting me off organics was where the cattle would be sold. Probably the best piece of advice I ever got. There was a man talking about renewables at the ploughing match. He said, start at the end and work back from there. He was talking about the ESB connection, if you had to put solar panels or turbines in. But I suppose if you had to start at the end on the organic scheme, my question was where would I sell the cattle, or could I finish them, or would I sell them as Wainlands? And it's the price of what goes in these was one of the major reasons that was putting me off. There they are eating it away. Now that's expensive at €400 a tonne, give or take, but the price of organic meal is apparently, or we were told on that course, €800 a tonne. Maybe there's more value in the organic stuff at 800 a tonne than there is in this at 400 a tonne. But I guess for me, on a small scale, there was too much of a risk tied up involved. There's enough cash tied up in these as it is. Never mind, say, pretty much doubling the cost of meal as well. So that was one of the reasons. The next issue then would be what I'd have to sell. And I guess it dawned on me then I'd have to change from the calf to beef system that I have to sucklers. There's no organic calf to beef system. So I'd have to switch to sucklers, and based on the amount of ground we have here and the usual stocking rates in an organic system, I'd have enough ground for 15 suckler cows. I might be able to sell them as Wainlands, but as far as I know, the only organic Wainland sale in the country is in Drumshambo in County Leitrim, which from where we are in Waterford, I'd probably get them to France or to England as quick as get them across the country up to the west. So then I was into the scenario of could I finish? Could I carry the extra 15? So now there's 15 cows, there's 15 Wainlands, and there's 15 finishing cattle. So I'm assuming I probably couldn't do that given the amount of ground we had. So that meant I was into the scenario of maybe selling them less or trying to figure out something in the middle, which again there's risk involved and there's extra cash involved. So that was kind of putting me off too. One thing that wouldn't put me off is the paperwork side of it. I know people say there's all this extra paperwork involved, but that's something that wouldn't bother me. One more organisation coming in here and saying, put that pallet there and put that pallet there, and you're doing this wrong and you're doing that wrong, and there's a bucket there that should have been in the shed instead of outside the shed. That wouldn't bother me. Well, it would bother me, but I'd get over it. I'd suck it up. And sure, look, the paperwork is the paperwork. You just have to get on with that. That's the bureaucratic world we live in. And I guess the last thing, ironically enough, what the policymakers and the politicians were pushing is first and foremost for them was the financial side of it. That's what they were boasting about. But that's the last part of it that I looked at. I'm outstanding in my field. Finances were the last part that I looked at, even though it's the bit that's pushed in the media all the time by the policymakers and the press releases and all that. It's a whack of money. But equally, when I added it up from my point of view anyway, the reduced livestock sales were one part of it. The increased direct payments were another part of it. The reduced fertiliser and feed bill would be another part of it. But when I added it all up, there wasn't a huge difference in the amount of profit or margin or whatever you want to call it at the end of the year. They're the couple of things then that were kind of in the back of my mind or helped me make a decision not to go into the organic scheme at the moment. There is the lack of an organic beef market. Now I know some people are selling organic beef directly, and good luck to them. I imagine that's a market that's hard won and hard maintained, and I have only the height of respect for anybody doing that. I'm just not in a position to even try to do it at the moment, and that's never assuming that I could, like some others. So the lack of the organic market for organic beef, pardon the pun, is one part of it. The change in the system that I'd have to make, that others would have to make, I think is a massive part of it too. And anybody who doesn't kind of factor that in at a policy level, or thinks like all farmers have to do is convert and learn new skills, that's showing a massive disrespect to the farmers that those people are trying to lecture to. Paperwork side of it wouldn't really bother me. Certification and that side of things, sure, look, there's always people telling you you're doing it wrong. So another bunch who would maybe help you to do things in a different way, I wouldn't have a major problem with that. And then the finances would be the last part, I guess, for me at the scale I'm at. It wouldn't really make any difference. There wouldn't be a pot of gold there that I'm not getting at the moment that I would get if I went into the organics scheme. So there are the couple of bits from my point of view. I'll always look at organics. I'll certainly try and live by organic principles as best I can, and kind of naturally drift towards, I'm just kicking a stone there, drift towards organic principles to look after the soil better. Then in a couple of years, if I can get into that space and it's a natural fit, then I would certainly look at organics again. But I'm going to finish by saying the exact same thing I said at the start. Go away and do the introductory course yourself. Step into the boots of an organic farmer, or what you think that would look like. Speak to a couple of people who are in organics, or people who are in it and maybe came out of it, as I think there's a few of them too, and make up your own mind and go from there then. And don't be listening to fellas on the internet or reading about poster cases in the newspapers or in the media either. So thanks a million for watching. We'll talk to you soon, and mind yourself. Hopefully the rain has stopped where you are too, and we'll talk to you at the weekend. Good luck.